answering a question I get quite often, which is, Matt, what about step loading in regards to calisthenics, particularly grind style calisthenics? Well, it sure as hell isn't this. Step loading reminds me of the first time I ever went to Colorado to check it out, long before I moved here. And I had a few hour layover to kill. I thought, what am I going to do? I want to do something physically active. So I found on TripAdvisor this place called the Manitou Incline. And the image I got was of this. And thinking, oh yeah, that's pretty simple and easy. No big deal. I don't have any workout clothes, just some khakis, but I'm sure I'll be fine. And yet, when I got to the Manitou Incline, I realized it's not at all like that. Sure, it starts off fairly gradual, but then it quickly goes whoop, really steep and really, really hard. And when I started hiking that, people around me were like, "You're not doing that in khakis, are you? What are you, an idiot?" And this type of progressive resistance that we often encounter in the world of strength training, be it calisthenics or otherwise, is entirely why step loading exists. Because a lot of times you come across the ideas of, oh, add weight as you get stronger, add 5 pounds a week, 10 pounds every few weeks, whatever the case may be. And when you're a beginner, that works out great at first. But beyond that introductory phase where you can just keep adding weight or keep going to harder exercises, you quickly start to peter out and realize you're not going to be adding resistance every workout or even every week, maybe not even every several months the more advanced you get. So the idea with step loading is that you don't even try to add more resistance every workout. And in fact, you're not even trying to add more resistance in general. The idea is you take a given amount of resistance and you just kind of sit on it and you stay at that level and progress within that level of resistance rather than always trying to add the smallest little bit of like 2.5s to the dumbbell or the barbell every single workout. I've even seen some step loading progression methods people recommend it where you don't even try and add reps. So you might be asking, well, if you're not trying to add weight and reps, then how in the world do you possibly progress? And the answer for that is to remember that a lot of progression, especially as you get more advanced, doesn't come from the weight and the reps. Instead, the weight and the reps are a reflection of your progression, not necessarily the cause of it. As you become more experienced in your exercise, you're going to have much more of your progression and progress based off of your actual proficiency in the exercise. So take these step ups, for example, right? Right now, I'm using more of a range of motion than I normally would. I'm engaging my hamstrings and my outer hip more than I have in the past. So my ability to do the exercise is improving. Even if I'm not adding weight or adding repetitions, I'm still progressing my proficiency. And that's fundamentally what step loading allows us to do. It gets you out of the mindset of, I've got to add reps and add a lot of weight and stuff and make progress that way. And instead brings you to a focus more on, how do I just get better at doing the exercise? How do I improve my ability to do it? Because once you've become more proficient at the exercise, the weight and the reps and everything will come along. But it's hard to reach that if your goal is always thinking more weight, more reps, and so on. And this is a lesson we can particularly take to the bank when it comes to calisthenics training, especially grind style calisthenics. Because when we give ourselves permission to sit at one of the 6 levels of grind style and bring our focus onto how well can I do this exercise, and your proficiency in that will be improved by your tension and stability phases before that, now you can make that progression of proficiency because you're purposely stopping and staying at that level. And ironically enough, step loading takes this step-by-step type of progression plan that we always think calisthenics work in. Think of like the 10 steps in combat conditioning. And instead of a step system, it's more like a ramp, a smoother incline plane. And it makes it easier to make progress through things like range of motion, tension control, stability, and a whole host of other subjective variables that allow you to do the exercise better. So it's a smoother path, because like going up that incline, which yes, I did complete it, and I had leg cramps the entire flight home, it gets so much harder that eventually you hit a plateau a lot faster. But if we can turn it into a smoother progression through the improvement of proficiency, you have a lot more potential to make long-term progress with less risk of injury. Let me know if you have questions down below. More videos here. Thanks so much for watching. Be fit and live free.